I might be able to do this from here. Let's see what I can do. And I got wires in the way. Luckily they're DC wires, so if I cut in one out, it won't kill me. Yeah, you want to be careful around electrical wiring. I think I'll start at the bottom and cut upward. I just don't want to cut into my mizzen mast. I may have to use my Dremel. I'm already starting to bugger up my mizzen mast a little bit. It'll be a lot easier with my Dremel tool. So yeah, that's what I have to do. Get my Dremel tool here. So I built I designed and built my own sailboat back in the mid-80s. It was only 7 feet long and made it out of plywood, and had a pointy bow. It wasn't like a El Toro that has one of those squared off bows. I had one of those, and that was my first sailboat, but I wanted a pointy bow, so I built my own. Built a 7-foot sailboat. It was mid-80s, and I made it all from scratch. I designed it myself, and I built the mast. I used, because I worked on the research farm then, and I had access to a bunch of stuff, things that we weren't using, my boss would let me have. And so I used a 2-inch diameter aluminum sprinkler pipe that was 30 feet long, and I cut it down to 11 feet, and that was the mast for the sailboat. And I made my own sails. I wished I would have used better material. I used blue polytarp, and I sewed them. I cut all the panels, and I sewed them up just like a real sail. And I wanted in-mast furling. And at the time, the only boat that I knew in the world that had in-mast furling, it was a new thing, was Dodge Morgan, this American sailor. He wanted to break the world record sailing around the world nonstop alone. And so he had Ted Hood, one of the greatest naval architects in the history of yacht design a boat for him called American Promise. It was 60 feet long, made out of fiberglass and Kevlar, the hull, bulletproof material. And he had in-mast furling. That was, and they had problems with it when they first. I don't know if that was the first in-mast furling. It was the first that I've ever seen. Now I've seen furling on a mast. The sail rolled up on a roller behind the mast, right behind the mast, but not inside the mast. And when they first built that boat, they had problems with that in-mast furling, getting jammed up, and it wasn't working real good. But they solved the problems. So I decided I wanted my little sailboat to have that, and it was great. I got it to work. It was really great. Instead of reefing sails down when the winds get real high, you get strong winds, you decrease the sail area, and traditionally you lower the sail part way, and it has grommet holes, little eyelet holes that you can now tie a rope around the boom to lower the sail down some, make the sail smaller. And it's surprising how reefing a sail really changes what's going on, especially in bad weather. If you have too much sail up in real strong winds, the boat can be totally out of control, and it can be terrifying. And so what's nice about in-mast furling is that you can adjust the size of the sail to any size you want. Where traditional reefing, you only usually have 2 or 3 choices in size, because you have these reef points where they have holes in the sails with these brass grommets that you can tie a rope through and tie it around your boom. And so yeah, even on my little 7-foot boat, I'd take it up and I'd sail in the Sierra foothills of California, and I'd get out there. I'd sail like to 3 o'clock in the morning. I loved it by myself, and I'd sail all year round, and there's times out there when it'd be blowing a gale and it'd just get terrifying. And there was a couple times in my older boat that didn't have any kind of reefing at all, I'd literally have to just I had to figure out, I got to lower the sail down, and I just lower it down and kind of tie the back end of the sail down to the boom, and it wasn't a perfect shape, but it saved me, and I got home okay, safely, and never turned my boats over. I've never been knocked down, knock on wood. I've been dismasted. Me and my dog in my Walker Bay that I have here, I built a rig for that, and it was huge. It's an 8-foot boat, and I put a sail on it that's for a Zuma, which is a 14-foot boat. So it was a huge mainsail, and I put a jib on it with a bowsprit. And I was out here on the San Francisco Bay sailing out of San Leandro, and in really super high winds. And it was really interesting. I looked over, and the rescue boat was right next to me, and they asked me if I needed any help, and I said, no, I'm fine. I'm just gonna actually, I had the shroud break. It came loose, and or was it no, it was a forestay. I think it was a forestay. It's usually what breaks. That's what has the most tension on it. And it's what it was. The forestay came loose, and the rescue boat happened to just come up right next to me out of nowhere. They're never out there. I don't know why they're out there. They're just cruising around. They asked me if I needed any help. I was almost to the end of the channel. There's these channel markers, these wooden poles that go out for 2 miles. And I was almost 2 miles out. And I told them, no, I'm just going to get out. I'm just going to go to the end of the channel. I'm going to turn around and come back in. And the mast was still standing, and it was blowing a gale. It was me and my dog. And so they took off. And by the time I got out to the end of the channel, I was dismasted. The whole mast just came crashing down. And so I'm out there in these big waves, and so I had to build a jury rig out there. And I tried using a oar. I think that's what I ended up using. And I made it, finally got the jury rig together. It took several attempts, and made this jury rig, but it would have been okay, but the wind shifted on me, started coming out of the north, so it was blowing me more south, and I couldn't go back in the channel in the direction I wanted towards San Leandro, so I started going south of San Leandro, more towards the San Mateo Bridge, and finally made it to shore. And now I had to row upwind because I was quite a ways south of San Leandro Marina. And so as I'm sailing in to shore before I had to row, I was just getting to shore, and here comes the fire truck with the sirens and the lights, and they were driving inside this, it's kind of like a park. And when I get up there, this lady goes, oh, I saw you out there, and you look like you were in bad trouble, so I called the fire department to rescue you. And I go, well, I wish you hadn't done that, because I was okay. I didn't need to be rescued. And the firemen came out, and they said, do you need help? And I go, no, I'm fine. I'm back in okay, and I just got to get back to San Leandro Marina. And they go, well, do you want us to give you a ride to San Leandro Marina? And I said, no, if I'm stupid enough to be out here and get dismasted, then I'm going to row myself back to the marina, which I did. And so it was quite an experience. But at any rate, getting back to boat building, so I built this little boat by myself, designed it. It was great. It floated great. Everything about it was awesome. I loved it. It finally fell apart. I stored it in my neighbor or a friend of mine's backyard when after my mom died, and I moved out of the house and moved out on the farm. And so he let me store it in his backyard, and it was out in the rain, and it eventually just fell apart from getting wet from fresh water. And anyway, I always dreamt about building a big boat like this, and I found out from reading books and several people, and I know a guy that built a 68-foot sailboat, did a really nice job, built it out of aluminum, and they all pretty much say the same thing. A person that wants to build their own boat, they usually build the hull okay, they get the hull built. But that's not the hard part of boat building. The hard part is like what I'm doing now. It's called outfitting the boat, and that's putting in the cabinetry. And like I was saying earlier, all of the surfaces, nothing's square, everything's rounded or angled, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work. So actually building the interior of a boat is the hardest part. And as you can see from just this little simple cabinet project I'm working on, how much work it is. And but yeah, I always wished I would have built my own boat, but at any rate, I love this boat I'm on now, and I don't know if it'll be my last boat, but I really love it. It's a classic, and it's not real practical, but it's beautiful, and I love the layout, and I love all the teak interior, and it's like an old haunted house. It's like an old Victorian mansion, and new boats are just not like that. But new boats are a lot more practical. They have a lot more room. They're a lot faster. They're a lot safer because they're faster. And mine has a bowsprit that hangs way out of the bow, and long-ended boats like this, you don't have as much room inside for storage and carrying capacity. And then when you are in a marina, you're paying for a lot of extra stuff that you're not really using, like the bowsprit. You know, it goes, I mean, it's adding probably another 15 feet on the front of my boat that I have to pay rent for, but I can't store anything there, you know, and a lot less living space. Or modern boats that don't have bowsprits, and the bow goes all the way to the, you know, the whole length of the boat, and long water lines. Long water line, the longer the water line on a displacement boat, the faster the boat is. And so at any rate, but yeah, I love this boat. It's just a joy. When I get it all done, it's going to be really nice. I just wish it did have more carrying capacity, and but it's not going to break any speed records. But actually, these heavy displacement boats like this are actually more comfortable at sea than the more modern boats that are more. They're a flat. The modern boats are more flat on the bottom, and they're more bouncy on top of the waves. Where this boat kind of just plows through the waves. So they're actually, these types of boats are actually more comfortable in heavy weather. And in a way, that's kind of makes it a little bit safer, but they're slower. And basically, a faster passage is a safer passage because you can outrun storms better. So I got to cut this piece of fiberglass out of here. And I think I'll use my vacuum cleaner on this one. Okay, so I got my Dremel tool and I got my carbide cutter. This one's for metal. And I think I do have some for plastic, but I'm just going to use this. It'll work just fine. I won't have no problem cutting through this. And I think I'll probably climb inside so I can see what I'm doing better. Some of the sawdust while I'm at it. Ouch. I hate this part. Ow. Ow. Okay. I need to get my light up here a little higher. I can see maybe better. Let's see if I can put it up here. Someplace I could hang this. Right there, maybe. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so I'm going to cut this piece. I don't think you can see it from my camera angle, but I don't have a good place to put my camera, so you'll just have to trust me on what I'm doing here. It'd be nice if I had more room. I could get better camera angles here, but and watch my hair. That's something, again, I brought this up before. When you're using something like this and you got long hair like me, don't get it near your hair. You don't want your hair getting caught in this thing. So, all right. I I held my breath through most of that, so I don't think I breathed too much of it. Kind of vacuumed out of the air here. All right, that should work. It's out of the way now, totally. And there's enough room for the shelf to come across here. I still got a little protection up here from rainwater getting in, so I didn't cut it all the way out to the top. So I didn't see no sense in doing that. And okay, so now I just got to get out of here. All right, this is what I cut out here. So it looks like fiberglass. And I just had to cut it. Yeah, I took a little bit of varnish off my mast right here on the corner. Didn't hurt the mast at all though. Just a little tiny bit. So, but that's definitely good enough. Okay, now I can go ahead and fit in my shelves. So this is out of the way because it was sticking out, just kind of floating out in midair. And I could probably use that for a paint stirrer or something. Okay, 19 1/4 crossed here. And now let's find out what the depth's going to be. I'm going to go 20 and 1/8. And 19 1/4, I did that one. So yeah, okay, that's the measurements. So now I just got to draw the measurements on the board. 20 and 1/8, 20 and 1/8. Okay, so strike that line. Okay, 20 and 1/8. Okay, and my next line is 19 1/4. 19 1/4 going this way. I think it pays off to, may actually just paid off to be a beer drinker. There, that should work. Not bad. Good. Next time I'm putting my earplugs in, my ears are ringing. Now it should fit. We'll see. Yep, there it is. Okay, like that. Now I'm just gonna have to put a support here in this corner. And there it is. There's one. It's got to get supported in here. I hate to do it, but I guess I could put support on the mast and just drill it in. It's a wooden mast. What the hell? It's not going to hurt anything. Problem is I get screw holes in the mast and the mast gets wet and the water gets into the wood. That's the problem there. At least I got room. I can fit my water bottles under here, no problem. I can reach down in here, no problem. Yeah, I can reach down in there, that's good. So, okay. Now if this fits on top, then I just make another one of these the same size. Yeah, I still got a problem. If I go putting these damn side things in here, they're going to be in the way, I'm afraid. Maybe, I don't know. Let's see what we can do here. See if I can put this up here. Yep. Oh no. I got to cut more of that fiberglass out. Damn it. Means I got to crawl in there and cut more of that out. I thought I had that figured out. All right. I'll stand here looking at it and getting it done. there. So like that. Looks good. Let's see how level this one is. That corner's got to come up a little. Okay, that's good. Looks good. It's not moving on me. How about this way? Yeah, it's good. That's level. So, okay. So now I just got to put these two supports in here. And that'll be done for now today. Like this. Go up like this. Go up like this. Yep, that'll work. I think this will work. And I should be able to get those other pieces in here right now. And how does that look? Okay, so the corner's a little saggy because it needs a little bit of support here and a little bit here. But it looks straight. It looks good. Yeah. All right. Yeah, there's still a lot of stuff. There's still a lot of work here. It's not even close to done yet. Still a lot of work. I gotta figure out how to keep stuff from going this way behind the mast, or put shelves all the way across back there, which is probably what I'd like to do. And then I got to put fiddles across here to keep stuff from falling out. This here is going to have to be some kind of spacer in here to keep these from sliding. And then after I'm all done with all that, I don't know if I'm going to put a third shelf down in here. I was going to have a cutout shelf I was going to put down in here. I think I'm going to wait on that. I can always do that in the future. I think I'm just going to get this done. That way it gives me a big space down here to put big things down in here. I can stuff life jackets or whatever. I prefer to put heavy stuff down here. Keep it down low. Oh boy, what fun this is. Especially this part. Oh no. Dang it. Alright. Ouch. Oh. That's the part I hate. Alright. So, I gotta put these in. And they go underneath. I guess I'll do the hard one first. And once I get the screws in, I gotta take them out and then I'm gonna epoxy them. So, drilling holes in my mast. Ain't real crazy about that. Put some epoxy in there. It'll keep the water from getting into the mast, into the wood. It's hard to believe how much work this has been. You know, these videos are being edited, and probably about 90% of what I'm doing here is totally edited out. Goes up. Oh yeah, see? Now that would, if I'd have put the thicker ones in, it'd been pretty tight. Now that's good, just like that. Look at that. That looks good. Go in this way. Let's see if I can go up and clear it. No, of course I can't. I'll have to go up though. There we go. So now, at least I can put canned goods. Do I have any tall canned goods here I can stick in there? I don't think I do. I got these. Something like this. So yeah, plenty of room. So I have to get over the fiddle and then inside. So yeah, stuff like that will fit in here. This is a little tighter, but I can put taller stuff like paper towels. Do I have a roll of paper towels available here? I don't think so. Or things like this can fit in, go up, flip over, and then come down. Yeah, so I can make this work. This is going to be so nice. Okay, so measure it again. So 6 3/4 and 6 3/4. So I need to move this up only an 1/8. God, not even that much. 1/16. I don't even know if it's worth the effort. It's one of my problems I have. I like stuff to be perfectly symmetrical. And especially if I'm building it. If somebody else built it and it ain't perfect, it doesn't bother me. But when I build it, it's got to be perfect. That's one of my drawbacks in life. 8 1/4 on the top. 8 1/4 on the top. It's perfect as far as the bottom here. Yeah, 8 1/4. 8 1/4. Perfect.